Hello everybody. Very recently the Board of Education changed its mission and vision statement to read, "Every student must be successful." In addition to that, in early September the board approved an equity framework, and I'd like to spend a little bit of time talking with you about how these two intersect and exactly what the equity framework is. So let's dive right into that right now. This visual is about as good a definition of equity as I've seen. Equity doesn't mean everyone getting the same. Equity means every child receiving what he or she needs. And in addition to that, if you look at how the crates are stacked, we get to determine how the crates are stacked. So let's talk a little bit more about the equity framework and how this definition of equity plays out in what the board recently adopted. This is a visual of the equity framework, and we're going to take a little deeper dive in it and you'll see for yourself here, but it's a visual representation of the four pillars of the framework. They are equity, excellence, engagement and expectations, and empowerment. The first pillar that we want to look at is that of equity, and this really puts a spotlight on eliminating gaps we have between our vision, which is every student must be successful, and our reality. And it looks at what practices and policies that we have in place that get in the way of us achieving our vision. So we, and that's a collective we, teachers, administrators, board members, community, we have the work of removing these barriers and eliminating the predictability of who is successful and who isn't. The equity pillar challenges us to examine things such as our norms, our values, our biases, and make sure that we have equal access to learning through resource allocation and through data analysis. The second pillar is engagement and expectation. This component guides us to offer students an inclusive learning environment. This pillar also focuses on engaging but disciplined classrooms, offering students a supportive learning environment and a safe classroom for all. Lesson design and implementation focus on culturally responsive and appropriate methods. Pillar number 3 is empowerment, creating sustainable partnerships and supporting academic achievement for all learners. This pillar guides us to work more closely with the community, engaging parents in conversations about learning, about opportunities, and about expectations. The final pillar is excellence. All learners will have access to challenging content at or above grade level. This is where we need to ensure all students have a personalized learning plan and that teaching and assessments represent all students culturally. The equity framework is going to be the lens that we wash all of our decisions through, whether it be at the site council, at the administrative level, at the board level. And it has to be, because if we're really intent on our mission of every child being successful, every student being successful, underline the word every, then we have to wash all of our decisions through these four pillars of equity, excellence, empower, engagement, and expectations. We have to do that. And so we have to align our resources that way. We have to align our thinking that way. And so what we want you to do is we want you to take a moment to read through the equity framework, and my guess is that it's going to generate a lot of questions for you, and that's great because this is really still a working document, as what you'll find is some of the questions that we have posed for site councils may make more sense than others, and so we're going to be constantly refining those questions that we use to reflect on our own practices, our own policies, our own resource allocation, to really make sure that everything is aligned. So that's what this framework does. It's the lens that we're going to wash our decisions through, and we're excited about doing that because we know at the end of this that we will move closer and closer and closer to our goal of every student being successful.